God. I'm fucking done. I've recorded 3 times. 3 times. I was on a roll. This last time, I quit. I fucking quit. I'm fucking done. I hate iMovie. I was ranting about communism once, and then I froze, and then I ranted about it again, and I was like 15 minutes in, and then I realized it's not recording at all. It's Friday. I'm hot. I'm tired. I'm cranky. Fauci lied. The Fauci emails are out, and I have had it because I'm never going to get this stupid video out. I'm going to try this one last time, and I'm going to make this even shorter because I'm about to throw this goddamn computer out the window. I have like 10 windows in here. It's going out one of them. My poor dog is laying in here. She's as white as I am, and she suffers heat stroke just as much as I do. And I do this all for your freaking entertainment. So if you're not liking this video or my other videos, and if you're not subscribing to this channel, well then screw you, because I suffer for you. Don't be a dick. All right. I had this lovely like blend into how the Fauci emails and the gain of function research at the Wuhan lab and the communist Chinese government, potentially releasing COVID on the world, whether intentionally or not, tied into critical race theory, and how the piece of shit diversity guy from Google, who wasn't fired for saying, and I'm quoting, if I were a Jew, I would be concerned about my insatiable appetite for war and killing in self-defense. Self-defense is undoubtedly an instinct, but I would be afraid of my increasing insensitivity to the suffering of others. This is what communism does. It turns you against the good guy, and it makes you the bad guy. The whole point of, again, I was looking at the Fauci emails, and basically what it comes down to was that he knew a long time ago that it was sort of, that researchers who were working on trying to figure out where this virus came from showed that it didn't look like it occurred in nature, that it was potentially manipulated, man-made. That's the most important thing. And the second thing was, like, Fauci knew that masks, especially store-bought masks, really don't actually work, and they don't do anything for those who are unaffected, who are uninfected, but it's really more for people who are infected. It may protect from large droplets. So he knew all of these things, and he lied because he is owned by China. And ultimately, you've got communists in our government, in our culture, in our mainstream, in Hollywood, and it is what it is. And we should be scared. We should be concerned. We should be afraid. It's not funny. It's not funny that, and at what point are people going to start waking up and realizing that in the here and now, everything that we were warning about, I guess, I don't know, were we crying, the sky is falling for too long? But we warned. We were warning you for the last 10 years since Obama was in office, that things were happening, but now you've got actual people in the government saying that they're pro-socialist and that they are anti-America. And you've got people in the culture wars. You've got Black Lives Matter Patrisse Cullors saying we're well-trained Marxists. Once upon a time, if somebody actually said that they were a Marxist, they would have been railroaded out of polite society. Their life would have been upended and ruined, and rightfully so, because if you're a Marxist and your goal is to overthrow this government and to turn America on its head and to turn it into some sort of, evil Marxist propaganda state, you're getting taken down. But now these are the people that are in the culture. Yeah, and I went into a theory that I have, and you can call it a conspiracy theory. I don't think it is. I'm a very well-educated person. My critical thinking skills are excellent. I have a master's. I went for my associates, my bachelor's, my master's. I'm well-read. I know how to read research, but forget research for a second. Just I can read the writing on the wall. I can see something in front of my face and call it what it is. I don't have to overanalyze it to, I will overanalyze it, but I don't have to know when something is, when I see something, I can call it what it is. And I see that our country is being overthrown very gradually to the, again, just like the Nazis, it was very gradual. But my theory is that the Cold War never really ended, that we had, a few decades of prosperity and quiet and peace. And maybe the communists were like, okay, let them think that. These people are too patriotic. This generation is way too patriotic. We'll get their children. We'll start it in the Hollywood culture. Hollywood is very easy to, people in Hollywood, these are not smart people. These are people who read other people's words. It's very easy for them to be, manipulated. I don't have to give you an example. I mean, everybody in Hollywood, essentially, with the exception of very few people who are underground conservatives. And then they started teaching it in the schools. And before you know it, you have an entire generation of young kids who really do believe that the American flag is evil, that it's okay to kneel in front of it, that this country is somehow racist, systemically racist, which it's not, and that we are evil and we keep minorities down, that we, start war. You have an entire generation of people ready to turn on this country. And they're from here. And they're ready to upend the Constitution and everything that makes this country stand out above, head and shoulders above the rest of the countries out there. We are a superior country. End of story. It's not a color thing, because this country is made up of many colors and cultures and backgrounds and religions and thought processes. But our Constitution is what makes us superior. Our government makeup, the way that the Founding Fathers intended it, make us superior. But now you have a bunch of young children who are ready to overthrow. It's just a matter of time. We have to start doing the things that we need to do to keep our country the way that it is. When someone like Camu Bob, I don't care if I'm pronouncing his stupid name wrong, he's an anti-Semite, from Google, when someone like that piece of garbage, that anti-Semite lecherous piece of garbage, when he's still working at Google, why are there not major protests outside of Google headquarters? Why are there not giant groups of people doing a sit-in and chanting like the left likes to chant, hey, hey, ho, ho? When are we going to start fighting back? When are we going to stop being clowns and squishes? That's my favorite new word, the squish. It's the conservatives that just sort of let us get taken over. When are we going to start doing what we need to do? I'm doing my part. I gave up my career and decided to fight the good fight by putting my voice out there and my face. And I'm more than happy to say, this is what's going on. It's time to fight. Where are you? Where are you doing your part? If any of my friends out there, and I have plenty of them, who come from actual communist countries, if you're not scared, if you're not figuring out ways that you can be more vocal and come out as, the silent majority and stop being silent, because we're very close to getting there. We need to fight back. Fight the culture war. Put your voice out there. Make it very clear that you will not be bullied into silence. Let them call you whatever names they want. Let them call you a racist. Who cares? Who cares? These people need to stop. We need to fight back. And I know that's sort of a bit of a departure from COVID and Fauci emails, but it's really not. It's part of a bigger picture. And I just went from one, subject to another, but it's all part of the bigger picture. What's, the common ground is China, communist China. And then you have communists here. And then you've got the media defending China. If you're not scared, you're not paying attention. Lastly, just kind of ending on a funny note, I was watching some stupid sketch from Jimmy Kimmel, who, I really don't think that he's very funny. I think he's kind of a douche. He was making a point about Florida and how there's a lot of hillbillies in Florida, and there are a lot of hillbillies in Florida. I'm sorry, they weird me out. But he called Florida the North Korea. What did he say? He said America's North Korea, and he didn't get any laughs for it, and he shouldn't have. America's North Korea. Florida, one of the freest states in the nation. The only place one of the few places in this country who did not suffer financially during COVID. I didn't see, a high death rate, especially when compared to the rest of the country, when compared to New York, to California, to New Jersey. Florida did pretty well. They got a really bad rap, but they did fantastic. And they didn't suffer. And if anything, all these people are fleeing to Florida now. Nearly impossible to get a house there now because every house is pending an offer. But do yourself a favor. Don't vote for what you fled. If you're coming from New York or one of these commie states and you didn't like being tied down in that state during COVID, don't go to places like Texas and Florida and try to vote for the same damn policies that you are leaving. You don't have to be a Republican. You don't have to be a conservative. But don't be a schmuck. You don't want to pay higher taxes? Don't vote for the asshole that's going to raise everyone's taxes. And if he says, I'm only going to raise taxes on the rich, he's lying. He's going to raise taxes on you. If you like Florida, if you think Florida is a great place to live, don't vote for what you fled. Stay where you are. Do yourself a favor. Do everyone else a favor. And to those of you who are conservative, who are thinking about fleeing and moving to the red states like Florida, like Texas, do it. Make sure that you cancel out the votes of people who might vote really left, because they're voting in all of these radical communist policies, and soon there's not going to be anywhere for us to go. I'm going to end this here because I got to edit now because I got distracted a few times. And quite frankly, this could have been a much longer video, but unfortunately, I've been sitting in the studio now for like an hour recording and failing to record, and this was so much more interesting. It was so much more interesting the first 10 times that I recorded this fucking thing. But I do this for you. I do all of this. I do all of this for you. So do me a favor. Just like and subscribe to this channel. We'll talk about critical race theory maybe in the next episode, unless something happens. But tell me what you want to see. I hope I wasn't too shiny on this episode. Thank you guys for watching. Again, this would have been longer and much more detailed and much more interesting. I had a whole lot of stuff planned out for this, but I said it 5 times. I recorded it several times already and it just didn't take. So this was a bit of a fail, but I really want to make sure that we get this out there that, the Fauci emails don't get gaslit. There is stuff to them. Dr. Fauci knew. Dr. Fauci knew that Dr. Peter Dissect ran a charity organization and he funneled money to the Wuhan lab. They may very well have been responsible for COVID. At the very least, we just wanted an investigation. That's it. We weren't claiming to know exactly. We had our suspicions, but we just wanted an investigation. And you assholes on the left, told us we were crazy. And at what point, how many times do we have to be right before you all look like schmucks? That's all I'm going to say. I'm tired. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you next week. Sayonara.